Here are today's top stories. Health Secretary Francisco Duque is charged with obstruction of justice related to deaths allegedly due to the Dengvaxia vaccine. The Presidential Electoral Tribunal orders COMELEC and the Marcos camp to comment on Vice President Robredo's poll recount petition. A ray of hope for Grab users, the transport network company says drivers won't see your destinations anymore to prevent booking cancellations. And the MRT-3 provides free rides to uniformed military personnel. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III is facing another setback over the Dengvaxia vaccine, this time a complaint for obstruction of justice. Prior to the filing of the case on Tuesday, the family of 13-year-old Abby Hedia from Muntinlupa filed criminal charges against Duque and 36 others. Public Attorney's Office Chief Persida Rueda Acosta said Duque was included in the complaint because Hedia was given Dengvaxia shots in November 2017 under his term as DOH chief. In the complaint, the Hedia couple said Duque refused to share the master list of children inoculated with Dengvaxia to the PAO. The couple also cited as evidence administrative orders issued by Duque that allegedly further prevented PAO from effectively investigating the cases. The parents also accused Duque of conflict of interest because of his affiliation with Garin. The PAO have filed 5 death-related charges after its forensic teams established that all 5 victims died of organ failure that could be attributed to the said vaccine. On Friday, Duque reiterated that he has nothing to do with the implementation of the immunization program involving Dengvaxia in 2017. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos and the COMELEC have been ordered to comment on Vice President Leni Robredo's motion on the 25% shading threshold of ballots for the 2016 vice presidential elections. More on this report.
Sitting as the Presidential Electoral Tribunal, the Supreme Court has ordered former Senator Bongbong Marcos and the Commission on Elections to comment on the motion for reconsideration filed by Vice President Leni Robredo on the ongoing vice presidential race recount. The Supreme Court had junked Robredo's motion that insisted on the legality of the so-called threshold used for recounting valid votes in the 2016 vice presidential race. Accompanied by her lawyers Romulo Macalintal and Maria Bernadette Sardillo, Robredo asked the Supreme Court to set aside its April 10 resolution denying her plea for the 25% threshold to be applied. Robredo wants the head revisers to use the 25% threshold percentage used by the COMELEC for the 2016 elections instead of the 50% used in 2010. The court said it insisted with the PET rules, adding that while the 2010 PET rules state the 50% threshold, the 2018 Reviser's Guide did not impose a new threshold. The PET also found Robredo's claim of a systematic reduction of her votes without basis and shows a misunderstanding of the revision process. Marcos' spokesman, Attorney Vic Rodriguez, meanwhile said Robredo should stop accusing the PET of systematically reducing her votes and casting aspersions meant to debase the court's integrity. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Maricor Zapata.
The Commission on Elections says early birds in campaigning for next month's village polls are not violating any law. COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon says the Commission on Bank has decided that the absence of a law against premature campaigning also applies during manual polls. Guanzon said the clarification was issued based on the proposal of their legal department. Under Republic Act number 9369, any person who files a certificate of candidacy shall only be considered a candidate at the start of the campaign period, and that unlawful acts applicable to a candidate shall take effect only upon the start of the campaign period. Meanwhile, the Legal Network for Truthful Elections urged those who are running in the village and youth polls to wait for the official start of the campaign period on May 4. Lente Executive Director Rona Ann Caritos added that voters should support candidates who follow moral standards aside from legal guidelines. The campaign period ends on May 12th. Despite the absence of a divorce law in the Philippines, the highest court of the land upheld the validity of the divorce obtained by a Filipino against a foreign spouse in another country. In a 10-3-1 vote, the High Court declared as valid the divorce case filed by Filipina Marilyn Manalo in Japan against husband Minoru Yoshino. Citing Article 26, Section 2 of the Family Code, the SC acknowledged that all marriages solemnized in other countries in accordance with their law shall also be valid in the Philippines except for certain conditions. The High Court added that under Philippine law, a Filipino is also allowed to remarry once the divorce with a foreign spouse obtained abroad takes effect. In 2011, a Japanese court granted Manalo's divorce against Yoshino. Manalo took the judgment to a court in Dagupan City so it can be recognized by the Philippines, but the court denied her petition. The Court of Appeals, however, reversed the lower court's ruling in 2014. The Land Transportation Office has inaugurated its own license plate making plant at its central office in Quezon City. The Department of Transportation says the facility will enable the LTO to manufacture vehicle plates faster and more efficiently. The launch has coincided with LTO's 106th founding anniversary. DOTR Secretary Arthur Tugade says having its own license plate manufacturing plant will help facilitate the issuance of vehicle license plates to address its backlog. DOTR and LTO rolled out 7 manual embossing machines which can produce up to 22,000 plates daily. One automated embossing machine is arriving in July and is set to be operational by August 2018. The machines will enable the LTO to manufacture its own plates rather than outsource the service. Tugade said the DOTR targets to release the plates of those who bought vehicles from July 2016 onwards on August or September of this year. Still to come, Grab takes action against booking cancellations as its drivers will no longer see destinations of would-be riders. And resorts in Davao Oriental are getting a summer break too. We will find out later how. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Fake news o mga pekeng balita.
Fake news is not a new issue, no?
Laban sa mga naglipa ng fake news,
Ako po si Ladel Vargas, 26 years na dito sa domestic helper. Unang-una noon, tinulungan ko makatapos yung pamangkin ko, nakatapos na. Tapos yung nanay ko ngayon, 96 years na siya, 96 years old na siya. Kaya siya na lang sinusuportaran ko. Okay naman. Trabaho lang sa bahay, gano'n. Siyempre, kailangan mo talaga magsilbi ng sa amo para at least yung sweldo mo, maging mabait ka rin, mabait din, para mabait din yung amo mo. Yung iba, ako nasa church ako lagi. Lalo na pag Sabado ng gabi, naglilinis, volunteers na maglinis ng simbahan sa Vina Church. Nasanay na rin eh. Nasanay. Siyempre, every year naman umuwi naman. Kahit na 5 days lang, pwede na. Go lang, Presidente. Ipagpatuloy mo yan. Marami ka nang nagawang magandang sa atin. Siyempre, ikaw talaga ang naasahan namin na tutulong sa Pilipinas.
Ako po si Julieta Pasakan, 4 years in Singapore as a domestic helper po. Yun sa trabaho sa bahay, every morning wake up ng maaga, prepare yung mga estudyante, tapos pabalik-balik lang po doon, then prepare ng food nila, gano'n lang din po. Yung sacrifice po dito, maranasan mo talaga yung homesick, tsaka kailangan talaga is more of faith in God lang talaga. Through Facebook, tsaka and pray in God. Makikita ko talaga ulit si Presidente Duterte. Alam mo, mabait talaga yan si Mayor Duterte sa Davao. Dati kasi nagta-taxi driver yan dati, tapos kumakain yan sa restaurant. Para lang siyang ordinaryong tao lang. Mabait talaga yan si Presidente. Yung mga anak din niya mababait. Sana tumakbo yan si Inday Sara next year. Si Inday Sara talaga magiging Presidente. Sana agad. Sa akin is mahirap mag-apply kasi kailangan documentary talaga ka dito. Kailangan sa Pinas, marami pinagdaanan, no? Pera, pagod, lahat. Through agency, kailangan talaga labas ng pera. Sa akin, wala akong mga magulang. Through help lang for my sister, anak. Ganun lang. Pinag-aaral ko yung sister ko, ganun lang. Then, my future husband, charot.
Transport network company Grab is taking action against clamors of booking cancellations from its users. This includes the removal of the destinations of would-be users in bookings starting on Friday. Here is our report.
Drivers of ride-sharing firm Grab Philippines will no longer see passenger destinations starting Friday, April 27, which will lead to reducing the incidence of canceled booked trips. Grab will also launch an auto-accept feature that will automatically allocate trips to drivers, allowing a more seamless experience in continuously accepting passenger requests. It will also implement non-showing of passenger information before ride acceptance. The auto-accept driver app feature will be implemented on Friday, while the destination masking will initially be rolled out to 25% of Grab drivers who historically have low acceptance rates. This is to prevent drivers from choosing their passengers. The ride-hailing firm will also require its riders to provide their correct and complete account information, which can be linked to social media platforms to ensure the safety of the drivers. Drivers will also have the option to see passenger destinations during the wee hours of the night for their protection. For its part, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board welcomes the move of Grab, as this will benefit the riding public. Grab has maintained that the main reason for the difficulty in booking a ride is due to the lack of cars, resulting to low supply. It assures, however, that it will exert efforts to keep more drivers on the road to address passenger demand and prevent long waits and price surges. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The Philippines is named one of the most favored investment destinations of Japanese companies. The country ranked 12th in a survey conducted by the Japan External Trade Organization. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says this proves that the Japanese government's high confidence in the Philippines and its business economic policies. It also shows the country has political stability under the Duterte administration. Japan was the Philippines' biggest trading partner in 2017 when approved foreign investments reached about 32 billion pesos. A Ro-Ro vessel ran aground a marine-protected area about 1 kilometer off the waters of Barangay Rawis, Libon Town in Albay. The MV Jack Daniel, owned by Santa Clara Shipping Company, departed the port of Pantao after its regular maintenance, but the vessel ran aground in the marine-protected area after underestimating a maneuvering process. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources said they have yet to determine the extent of damage. The Ro-Ro vessel is plying Pioduran to Masbate. The extraction of the grounded vessel has already been underway since Tuesday afternoon. The Lawag City government distributed around 500 agricultural patents to Ilocos Norte farmers. The distribution was led by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, the Provincial Government of Ilocos Norte, Land Registration Authority, Department of Agrarian Reform, and the regional trial courts. The patent is proof of ownership of land by farmers and their families who have been tilling for a long time. Victor Dabalos, Provincial Environment and Natural Resources Officer of the Ilocos Norte, said the so-called Handog Titulo program aims to lessen boundary conflicts and confirms ownership of land occupants. Dabalos said this is in line with President Duterte's agenda of promoting social justice through equitable distribution of lands. The DENR also released 5 special patents covering the Bangi National High School, Lanao National High School, Camp Valentin Juan in Lawag City, and the local stations of the Philippine National Police and the Bureau of Fire in Dumaneg, Ilocos Norte. While many travelers are enjoying their summer break, the city government of Mati in Davao Oriental is eyeing to do the same at least once a week for resorts in Dahican and Pujada Bay. During the proposed rest day, tourists will be restricted from swimming on the beach at certain periods. This will give resort management the opportunity to do repairs, general cleaning, and other maintenance works. Mati City Tourism Officer Arlene Yamada says the initiative will be enforced following a massive information dissemination campaign. About 17 of the registered beach resorts in Mati City are located in Dahican at Pujada Bays. Up next, military personnel are in for a free ride at the MRT-3. And these troops in Leyte are jiving in the dance floor on a bid to promote peace. Details ahead, stay with the PNA Newsroom.
Fake news o mga pekeng balita.
Fake news is not a new issue, no?
Laban sa mga naglipa ng fake news,
Ako po si Rolinda Basco. Mag 7 years na po ako dito sa SG. Trabaho ko po dito is domestic helper. Okay lang po, kahit pagod, kahit pumunta ka sa kahit saan, kasama mo yung alaga ko, ito lalo na itong maliit. Kasama ko po sa palengke, wet market. Taga Isabela po ako. Mahirap po magtanim ng palay. Kahit kung minsan po madaling araw, sumasabak ka na po sa bukid. Ayaw ko lang kasi dun sa Pinas, mainit.
Okay.
Kasi masakit pa yung likod. Kahit dito, kahit mainit, may mabigat din ang trabaho, pero okay lang, mas malaking sahod. Ang gobyerno natin, maganda naman po. Talagang okay naman po sila.
Ano po bang mga parang tulong na ano na?
Ako po, yung first time ko po dito nagpumunta sa SG, runaway po ako. Kasi yung amo kong una, sobra po. Ayaw niya po akong bigyan ng kahit anong kwan po, ayaw niya po akong bigyan. Yun, kapag nag-o po ako, tinatawagan niya po ako kaagad, bumalik ka na, ganyan po. Tapos yung malapit na po ako mag-renew, ayaw ko pong mag-renew, siya po. Kinancel niya pong working permit ko, isasinbak niya po ako sa Pinas. Kaya tumakbo ako sa home. Sabi nila, pumunta ka sa Philippine Embassy, pero hindi ko po ito alam, Philippine Embassy, noon una. Eh, nagpunta lang po ako dun sa palakad-lakad dun sa Lucky Plaza. Okay na po ako.
Hindi naman masyado.
Hindi na po yung dati na yung amo ko. Good luck na lang. Good luck.
Good luck.
Ako po si Butch Paharilico Jamat. 5 years na ako dito sa Singapore, then I'm working as a housemaid. Yung makatulong ako sa pamilya ko, especially sa anak ko. Pero dati po akong supervisor sa National Bookstore Metro Manila area. Pero hindi pa rin sapat yung sahod doon na sa supervisor. So, mas malaki pa rin dito kaysa sa doon. Sa akin naman, ever since na nandito ako, so this is my second employer. So, mabait naman sila sa akin. So, araw-araw, ginagawa ko naman araw-araw paglalaba, mamamalansya, paglilinis ng bahay, of course. Tsaka, hindi din naman ako tinuturing na iba ng amo ko. So, hindi ako katulad ng iba na hindi sila kasabay kumain ng mga amo nila. Yung iba dito, bukod yung kutsara, yung plato, yung ano. Pero ako hindi, nagagamit ko lahat ng ano sa bahay. Nakakain ko lahat ng pagkain sa bahay kung ano meron. Kaya gaining weight. Siyempre malungkot, pero masaya na rin kasi naibibigay mo naman yung kailangan ng anak mo. Isa anak ko pero kailangan ipupush mo talaga ng ganun. Okay naman. Dito sa embassy naman okay naman. Siguro yung 1 to 10, I give them 9. It's not perfect. Lahat naman hindi perfect, di ba?
So, ma'am,
yeah, excited.
Ano po gusto niyo sabihin sa kanya, ma'am, if ever makausap?
Ang sasabihin ko sa kanya, syempre, continue lang yung yung pagiging kamao ng Pilipinas, of course. Kasi, tsaka, he did well, very well. Yun lang. Kasi alam ko naman na kayang-kaya niya yung lahat ng sa bansa, mga salot sa bansa.
All active personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines are now entitled to free rides at the MRT-3 starting today, April 25. Active military personnel may ride for free upon showing their identification cards, which will serve as their access pass. The access pass will be valid for a year. The Department of Transportation and AFP signed a memorandum of agreement to formalize the partnership. Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugades said the free train ride is a way for the DOTR to recognize the sacrifices of the military. For its part, the AFP will be providing the MRT ambulance and medical teams for assistance during emergency and crisis situations. The AFP and the Light Rail Transit Authority also granted all uniformed personnel free rides until December 2018 at the LRT-2 to show appreciation for the soldiers who risked their lives during the Marawi siege. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources will ensure that Boracay's waters will pass international quality standards. The DENR says rehabilitation efforts on the island include improved solid waste management. DENR Secretary Roy Simatu says the administration will ensure that Boracay would be once again become a livable community. Among the reasons for recommending the closure of Boracay was coliform contamination caused by domestic and commercial wastes dumped directly into the ocean. The DENR assures the environmental crisis in Boracay will not overshadow its previous accomplishments as a world-class tourist destination. A popular online battle royale game is now being recognized as an e-sport, with the Philippines preparing to battle the rest of the world starting this May. Player Unknown Battlegrounds Corporation announced that it will stage its first PUBG Global Invitational in Berlin on July. In line with this, Mineski will hold its own version, the PUBG Southeast Asia Championship, on June 23 to 24 in Thailand. The champion of the said tournament will go to Berlin to compete in the Global Invitational. The Philippines is assured of a slot in the regional tournament, as Mineski will stage a national qualifier from May 5th to June 10. PUBG is the first of its kind multiplayer battle royale game in which an individual or a team must end up as the lone survivor to win. Mineski says the naturally competitive nature of PUBG, which spawned multiple games with similar mechanics, helps form the game itself into a fully pledged e-sport. Aside from combat operations, the military is coming up with other ways to fight insurgency and lawless elements, and in Leyte, this includes shaking of those bodies to the tune of lively music. In this report, we will check out how these troops promote peace while showing their prowess on the dance floor.
Government troops in Leyte learned how to dance as a strategy to win the hearts of villagers in communities highly vulnerable to insurgency. The dancing soldiers of the 78th Infantry Battalion based in Borawan, Leyte have been performing in medical missions, school-based events, and other gatherings where soldiers are invited. Colonel Danilo Dupiag, 78th Infantry Battalion Commanding Officer, said dancing helps them relate and be one with the community. Dupiag believes that they have earned the trust of people in far-flung communities through entertainment. In return, villagers have been providing intelligence information to the military. Insurgency problem in Leyte is not as worse as in Samar Island, but there is still a challenge for them to keep the insurgency situation from manageable to completely eradicated, he said. The military official noted that convincing the people not to join the New People's Army is easier now because most of the NPA members are individuals who have criminal records and without ideology. Dupiag added that even if the national government canceled the peace talks last year, the local peace initiative in the province has continued. He also expressed support for the peace talks, saying peace efforts continue even in the local level. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cabe.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's top stories. Health Secretary Francisco Duque is charged with obstruction of justice related to deaths allegedly due to the Dengvaxia vaccine. The Presidential Electoral Tribunal orders COMELEC and the Marcos camp to comment on Vice President Robredo's poll recount petition. A ray of hope for Grab users, the transport network company says drivers won't see your destinations anymore to prevent booking cancellations. And the MRT3 provides free rides to uniformed military personnel. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And remember, if you don't know what you're looking for, you will never find it. So listen to your heart. It always works. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.